Hey y'all, this is Brett. Thought I'd do a little walk around with the garden today. I ain't showed the garden off in a while. A lot of things has changed. A lot of things is growing, some things is ready. A lot of different things to see. I'll try to make this quick, but there's a lot of stuff to cover. Well, let's start with the garlic. See if I can get this right. I've been having bloopers here. This is red chestnut, something like that. Baker Creek seeds. I bought it a few years ago. I've replanted it, I think, 3 times. I always try to grow enough to have garlic to plant each year. It's about ready. See if I can find one. See the scape growing. It's actually the round one. That probably ain't the best example. There's one. It's got the little seed pod right there. That means we're getting close on the garlic. I'm glad it rained last night. Rain ain't done much in the garden, so I had to make a video. We got about 1.5 inches of rain last night. I think I got 75 garlic plants, roughly. Of course, this is onions. These are the bulk bin onions I bought from the hardware store. I had a couple pounds of them. I just went ahead and put them out a few months ago. These wasn't wintered like the other ones as much. Some of them was, but not all of them. I had to go back and add more, but wintered or not, they still will make a bulb. They won't make the greatest one. Now, if you've seen one of my previous videos, I said something about the woman at the feed and seed store telling me that they wouldn't bulb out. They only make a green onion. And the weeds are growing quick. But they will make a bulb. Won't be no award-winning size, but it makes onions. I'll show you one here in a week or two. Of course, you can see I got various pots. I've got onions in several pots. I've started blackberries and some of them. There's a blueberry. There's cherry bush. A couple of pecan trees, like this one here. That's an apple over there. Pear tree in the little purple pot. I'm always working on trees. This is where the broccoli and cauliflower was. You can see there's a few plants left. Most of them we've already harvested, done really well. This is also where I strode the old lettuce seed I had, and I thought, well, we'd make use of it. Part of it come up, it'd be good. Well, I think I found 2 lettuce plants out of all that I planted. It didn't come up. Of course, the broccoli and cauliflower outgrew it and covered it. So once it didn't pop up really quick, it got shaded out. I've put a cantaloupe in its place here. As I pulled them up, I started putting cantaloupe plants in it. I've got 10, 12 in here. I got about 12. I still got a broccoli head or 2, you know, there. It's coming along, it's just slow. It's a lot more shade on this end. Brussels sprouts, I see some bug damage. We had no bug problems whatsoever. But I see a leaf it's been eat on, so it's time to start looking for bug problems. They finally found me. I move everything around the garden from year to year, trying to keep disease and bugs down. Sometimes it takes them a while to find me. Now, these 2 tomatoes was volunteers. I found them on the other side of this garden. I don't know what they are. I'm thinking they're like a small grape tomato, sweet 100 size tomato. But we'll find out. They just have that look like. I can't remember which one I planted. Cherry tomato, sweet 100. I had different ones last year. I have to go back and watch my own video. These are most likely Jet Star or Jet Setter. I had 3 that was kind of slow about growing. I saved them, kept putting them back and kept working with them and got them out. Finally big enough to handle it. This line of pretty tall tomatoes is Mule team tomatoes, I'd think. I get the brain working here. I don't know that I can go down all the aisles because it's, you know how clay is. When it's dry, it's hard as concrete. When it's wet, it's very slick, very hard to deal with. That was my experiment okra. I actually got an okra pod off. That was some seed I just tried to see if it'd grow, and it popped up, so I planted them. I wasted. Straight 8 cucumbers. This was my first planting. I've got some small cucumbers in there. Nothing big enough to eat yet. That's my second planting of them. I usually plant them in stages. Might as well call it over here. I got 3 peppers here. I don't know what they are. I got them mixed up. So far I did good keeping the sweet peppers and the hot peppers separate. But these 3 wasn't marked, and I'm waiting to see what pops out. That's the reason I got them separated. They're over here by themselves. Of course I know these are jalapenos. I've got them in the row with the tomatoes. I've got 3 rolls of Jet Star, Jet Setter. I got them mixed. I can't tell you which one's which. They're mostly, they're pretty much the same thing. Names a little different, timings a few days. Makes basically the same shape tomato, same size. I always just plant them together. They're hybrid. I'm not going to save seed anyway. All jalapenos so far. I think I've done good on keeping the jalapenos. I've got 14 of them. I actually got some more growing. I planted jalapenos and they didn't come up. I planted some more. A few of them come up. Thought I didn't have enough, so I planted the 3rd time and they all started coming up. Some of them took a long time to germinate apparently. It's bad slick out here. Of course, that's my peanuts. I know there's grass everywhere. I've been trying to get the garden out and I'm getting behind on cutting grass and hoeing. These are bell peppers. I've actually already got some jalapenos and some bells, small ones. Plants are so small I hate to leave them on there. Yep, like this one. Plant's 10 inches tall and got a bell on it. All them's bell peppers. Them 3 rolls is incredible sweet corn. I was going to plant bodacious, couldn't get seed. It wasn't available when I wanted to plant. This roll of potatoes is the ones from the cut off pieces I dried and put in the bottom of the refrigerator. Basically made from the skin of a potato. A few dried up eyes. They've done really well. These 2 rolls was potatoes I had left from last year, except for the short ones in the middle. I tried planting some store-bought potatoes and they didn't come up, so I had to go get some more seed potatoes out of my stash, and they're a little late, but they're all together. They'll come in a week or 2 later. Another volunteer tomato. You can see the blooms there. Got 1 long row of okra. And the grassy mess next to it is snow peas. I planted them. They didn't grow very fast, and the grass has got in there with them, and I ain't got it weeded yet. But that's the majority of this garden, other than, except for these plants here. These are the sunchokes, or they call them Jerusalem artichokes, which is, well, we won't get into that. They're sunchokes. That's all of, I guess you can say, garden number 1, if I can keep from getting down in the mud here. We'll go to garden number 2. Well, pay no attention to the lawnmower. We both had ideas of getting out and doing things, and his just makes more noise than mine. These are the Kentucky Wonder pole beans on one side, and I believe the state half runners are on this side. They're all doing really well. Got some good thick lines, except for this corner over here. It didn't come out well. These are the Petro Onions, if I can get that out right. It's got an L in it. Kind of funny spelt name. This is the one I made the video about. I pulled all the onions out. I pulled a few more after the rain. They're doing really good. That's going to be a nice onion there for the kind of onion it is. These are the Lissa Craigs. I covered that the other day. Still growing, still doing good. More of the bulk bin onions you get at the hardware store. If you don't know what I mean by bulk bin, they get them by the big sack full and they put them into like a plastic bin or a big wooden box, and you buy them by the pound and you scoop out what you want or dig out what you want. They're simply marked yellow onion, white onion, sweet onion, red onion. I think there was 4 choices out here. I have no clue other than what color it's supposed to be, and it's onion. But they're getting pretty good size, and they're starting to grow the seed pods, which I'm trying to keep a lot of them off. Don't really want seed pods. I'm not going to keep the seeds. As you can see, the bases are starting to really swell. Won't be long. Time to go to garden number 3. Garden number 3. Man, the grass come up overnight. This was supposed to be in 6 rows of some kind of jumbo corn that a farmer gave me. Talked about it in the live. I planted it, gave it a few weeks, and all I got was about six stalks showed up, I think, something like that. So I came back a couple of days ago and I put blue corn in it. I just plowed back in the same spot and put my blue corn seed in and covered it back up. Just still fertilized, basically, so we'll see how it grows here. Of course, this is my sorghum. I've got 3 rows. I was fixing to make the video. I was walking by and I noticed sorghum plants were sticking up everywhere over in the grass. I planted some seeds for the 4th row just to see how they grow outside, because I usually transplant them. I grow them inside and then transplant them later. I got a 4th row here. You can't really see it, but it ain't up yet. Got my 1st row of sweet potatoes out. It's about 30-35 feet wide, this garden. About a good 100 foot probably. My 2nd mound for sweet potatoes. I don't have it done yet. There'll be a 3rd mound here. And I've got some bean seed. I'm going to probably plant some bush beans. A couple rows in here. Leave it open for pumpkins and whatever else I want to put. Something growing a little later. Of course, we got 5 rows of potatoes. 2 rows of Yukon Gold, 3 rows of red Pontiacs. I see blooms. Don't want to walk out in it because I know that's just been tilled. Got a volunteer pumpkin plant, pretty sure. Got a couple rows of some old bean seeds I tried. I think they're Blue Lake. I've had the packs for quite a while. So I came back and transplanted some seeds in between if I can't fill in the gaps. I had another pack of them. These are pink eye purple hull. I made a roll of some old pink eye purple hulls I had in the freezer, and most of them come up, but I came back and tried to splice that roll too. And I'm trying to hurry. My neighbor cranked his lawnmower. That's the majority of what we got growing in the gardens. I'll show you what I got left to go out. Well, on the way to showing you the transplants I got left, I thought I'd show you this little box. I skipped over the strawberries and all the berry plants and all that stuff, but this I'm doing for Mr. Jack, Geeky Gardens. He talks about his patient patience garden, he'll know what that is. I've actually got 4 asparagus roots in there. One of them's 3 or 4 years old. The other ones are good 2 years old anyway. I'll kind of let that go and let it flare out. Of course, you can see one coming up here. Wind blowed all kinds of junk in here. There's 3 here, and there should be 1 here, but it hasn't showed up yet. I don't know that it's coming out this year. This one I planted, like I said, it's 3-year-old. I planted it in another box, and it never showed back up. I thought it was done. Gave up on it. Last spring, it popped out of the ground, started growing small shoots. I eased it out of the ground, brought it over here, and put it in this box, which is good because I had 3, and now I only have 2 of them showing up. And both these are purples. That's the green one, as you can see. Of course, there's been a lot of different things in it, and I put some more onions in it. Like I said, I had several of the bulk mint onions. They was fairly cheap. I won't say they are now, but things are going up. Them are true artichokes. There's 4 of them. I got 3 of them doing well. The other over it never has done much. I planted several seeds, and I got 5 to live, and 4 made it to transplanting. I don't know what we'll get, but we're trying anyway. There was chives in here, I believe, onion chives, and this is where my rosemary was at, and I don't know, it's had several items. We try to change things up. On to the transplants. Now this is what I got left. This is my aramith. I had it in a 50 count propagation, and some of it just wouldn't grow, some of it did. These were the better of the bunch. I got a few over here with the tomatoes, but we'll get to that. There's my peppers. I've got 12 more peppers put somewhere. But I kept planting peppers because I couldn't get peppers to come up. I'm not sure what some of them are. I gotta wait till they make a pepper. I got a feeling they're all hot, but so I got a couple Brussels sprouts. It was late, and had some broccoli and cauliflower. Just didn't want to get started. I've tried starting them, putting them in cups. That was a volunteer growing in the driveway. Not sure yet. Still too young to tell. Of course, a couple more peppers, some oddballs. Got my watermelon plants ready to go. I just really ain't got a place to put it because I'm still waiting on pulling onions. Which when it dries, I'll probably pull the rest of the Petro Onions and start there. The tomatoes, more volunteers. They popped up in the garden like that one over in the potatoes did. And I just took a shovel and eased them out of the ground, transplanted them into these cups where I can build better roots. They was in some pretty hard stuff over there. Of course, the rest of my aramith. I took this week off. Hopefully I can get a lot of this stuff in the ground. It's either going in the ground or I'm going to do away with it, but I'm done with small plants and transplants until it's time to start planting pumpkin seeds. Now when these raised beds clear, which this garlic one will probably be clear by the end of the month, I've got a couple ideas to plant in it, but I'm not sure yet. Depends on the weather. Of course, the onion bed will be the same. It'll be potential for planting. I just don't know if I can. I don't know what the weather's going to do. I just leave it at that. Some things just ain't going to take August heat here. Most of the garden will have a hard time with the heat, other than like the corn. The corn and the beans will handle it. Watermelon, cantaloupe, okra, it handles it pretty good. Tomatoes, that's going to be a struggle. Got to keep the water to them. We've got the drip line installed, and I've got the pump back. We're going to do a video about it for too long. That's the general tour, I guess. Kind of skipping over some of the little extras, but That's the majority of it. Y'all have a good week.